What's up, guys? It's the ALE double X Prince, and you guys are not usually seeing me in a hoodie, but I decided to wear one because it's cold as fucking balls out here. It's fucking freezing, and I kind of wanted to make a video about like who I would switch from the draft, and I have a list here out. I don't know if I'm gonna put it in the link below, so don't be looking down unless if you're probably sure by now that it's down there. But yeah, I'll just had to choose a couple guys to from Raw to SmackDown, and I actually made a list of everybody on the roster. And SmackDown, I mean Raw for the most part has a lot of guys. Like it fills up like almost a bunch of pages, including part timers that I added to the list. Like Brock Lesnar, obviously. I took off Goldberg just because I'm not sure if he's gonna stick around. So, and then I also left the cruiserweights alone. I decided to just keep the cruiserweights the way they are right now. I think it's the safest bet you could do with them. But I chose a pretty good amount of people from Raw just to like even it out. I chose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people, and one of them is a tag team, so 12. So technically 11 guys and gals, and no, 10 guys and gals, and 2 tag teams I chosen. You could count 3 tag teams, but you'll see what I mean when I separated them. But and you might guess who the hell I'm talking about. But I'll just talk about who I would draft from Raw to SmackDown. The first, and these are I'll like base them on like who like I want to talk about a lot. But the first guy I want to draft to Raw, I mean from the first pick from Raw to SmackDown, you'll be shocked, but it's actually Bo Dallas, the Bo Lever. Why would I choose Bo Dallas from Raw to SmackDown? Well, it's pretty simple. Bo Dallas at one point was one of the most over heels in the time at the time, and he wasn't even a proper heel. He was just a guy who wanted people to be a believer, and I think that's what made him super special. I mean, if you bring that to SmackDown, I'm pretty sure you could do a lot with Bo Dallas. Plus, Bray Wyatt, who I did not draft to Raw, is in SmackDown, and if you guys know this, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt are actually brothers, so they could play off that story as well. Yeah, I should take the hoodie off because it's kind of hard for me listening to myself. Um, Next person I want to talk about is a tag team, and that of course being the Shining Stars. The Shining Stars, Primo and Epico, are a great talent. If they bring back Carlito, I'll be even happier with this team. But these guys definitely need different change, and I think SmackDown is the right way to go. I know they fucked up with Breezango, but at least the Shining Stars got more talent. I like Tyler Breeze and Fandango. I like Breezango, the team, but they fucked them up badly. And I think the Shining Stars could definitely be a good way to elevate them, especially if they do talk about bringing Carlito back into the mix. That would be a great three-way team. And speaking of three-way teams, I'm also bringing the New Day over to SmackDown because I think based on like the Raw tag teams that I'm keeping on Raw, I'm pretty sure we're gonna need some big talents on SmackDown. For sure, we're gonna need some pretty legit teams in SmackDown because at least one of the brands has to have a good tag team division. One should have a good women's division, and then overall everything else, the way you want to put it. So yeah, New Day is, I was planning on bringing just Kofi and Xavier and then make Big E run as a heel or something, but I'm pretty sure they would fuck him up badly, so I just decided to bring all 3 of the New Day, and I think, honestly, keeping the New Day together, no matter what, is the perfect way to do it, and then, like, when they do break up, maybe when we have a lot less talent, that would be a perfect time because it's like, can you imagine all of what New Day done? The WrestleMania 33 host, longest running tag team champions in the world, 2-time tag team champs. They became over the most popular team in years. So when they do break up, it's gonna be really special. So I think they could save the breakup of the team. And then if they do break up on SmackDown, that'll be pretty fucking great. Next person I want to talk about. I was thinking of getting people from the women's division, and that of course, the first one I want to talk about, Summer Rae. They already talked about bringing Summer Rae for a while, so I think it's better off if they bring her up now. Summer Rae to SmackDown, I think just that's great. Also, another person I would want to bring is Emma. She re-debuted on Raw this past Monday night. And she lost. She wasn't in pin or submitted. She just was in the match. But I think they want to bring her to SmackDown. I think they already teased it all perfectly, and I think it's just perfect for Emma to be a heel on SmackDown because Alexa Bliss, even though I like her, and I'm keeping her on SmackDown by the way, I think they want to bring like a proper heel for the women's division there, and obviously they're not gonna bring back Paige after her fucking pictures and shit. So yeah, I think that's it for tag teams and women. Next topic, couple guys I want to talk about are like the big names, like oh shit, big names, and this is originally a tag team, but I think they could split up furthermore. But that would be Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm bringing both those guys in SmackDown. They come as a tag team, but now that they're on Raw, they don't have to be a tag. I mean, now that they're on SmackDown, they don't have to be a tag team. So then that gives them more feel like, oh shit, we don't have to be tag teams anymore because we're on SmackDown. Sheamus could turn on Cesaro, and Cesaro and Sheamus could go their separate ways, and Sheamus could be a proper heel. And based on the amount of heels I'm gonna have for Monday Night Raw, I'm pretty positive that Sheamus would fuck up on Raw if he stuck around. So I think bringing Cesaro and Sheamus would be nice. I think that would be great. And speaking of more tag teams, I want to form a tag team on SmackDown. And that, of course, I would draft Sin Cara from Raw to SmackDown because I want the Lucha Dragons back. Kalisto has nothing to do. I mean, he's gotten some pretty decent matches with Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, and so many others. But I think it's time to bring back the Lucha Dragons back together. I think it's the perfect way. And we could definitely elevate the tag team division there. Because think about it. You got American Alpha, the New Day that I brought in, Shining Stars, the Ascension. We could bring up that story from NXT. Like we have been we have been broken down and torn apart just because ever since YouTube beat us. So they could bring that story in perfectly. So there's a lot that you could do if you bring Sin Cara and form the Lucha Dragons. Next guy, and they kind of teased this guy to be part of SmackDown. But Sami Zayn, they already kind of teased it with the Kurt Angle promo, and I think Sami Zayn is ready for SmackDown. I think it's going to be the perfect time for Sami Zayn to be elevated great, and he kind of reminds you of a Daniel Bryan, maybe not as like charismatic as Daniel Bryan. No offense, but it's true. But yeah, Sami Zayn could definitely elevate in SmackDown, especially if Daniel Bryan is still your GM. So there's a lot you could do there. So there's that. And then also, I would bring a part-timer to SmackDown. One part-timer, and it's not even like a big part-timer that leaves every fucking decade, and that of course being Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho could definitely elevate on SmackDown. He could put over real talent, especially with the talent that I bring to SmackDown. Chris Jericho is a guy that could put talent over. Plus, you could have history with Chris Jericho's first match being with Daniel Bryan. They could have funny segments. The list could still be there. SmackDown, you just made the list. That would be fucking interesting to do. But I know that he's currently in a feud with Kevin Owens, so that is why I have chosen Kevin Owens to be drafted to SmackDown as well. They actually, once the Jericho-Owens feud is over, I'm pretty sure Jericho will go back to Fozzy. And they need a legit heel for SmackDown now that AJ Styles is technically a face. The Miz is a good heel, but he needs to elevate back up ever since John Cena fucked him up. And Baron Corbin, he's still trying to find himself. He's still something great. Plus, he beat the Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose previously, so they will definitely push him. So, no worries about Baron Corbin. He's still on SmackDown. But Kevin Owens is a guy with great promos, great wrestling ability, just a great look, great talker again. He's the full-on package, and him as a United States champion, being the top heel there, could definitely help SmackDown and put SmackDown on the map. Now, I was actually planning on bringing Seth Rollins over to SmackDown, but I think you could still do a lot with him with Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor. They could bring back that story, and hell, we could even bring Brock Lesnar into the mix. Now, onto Raw. Which SmackDown guys am I switching to Raw? Now, I already moved the United States Champion over to SmackDown, so it's right for to bring the Intercontinental Championship to Raw, and that of course being Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose going to Raw, I think it's the best thing they could do. Plus, you could redo a triple threat Shield match. You could have a story of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns being like, "Hey, what the fuck? Like you were like this guy that I respect, and now you're not. You're being an asshole." And they could bring that story, and him being the Intercontinental Champion. Plus, I think Raw, based on like all the people I took out of Raw, I think Dean Ambrose is the guy that you definitely don't want to fuck around with. Maybe they could turn him heel on Raw. Depends on where they want to go with Dean Ambrose. But I think Dean Ambrose definitely needs a fresh start, and Raw is the perfect way to do it for Dean Ambrose. Plus, he's the Intercontinental Champion. Maybe the Intercontinental Championship could get something out of it down the road. Something about Dean Ambrose as a champion sucks ass. Have you noticed that? WWE Championship, United States Championship, and now Intercontinental Championship. Something about Dean Ambrose holding a title is not worth good. Maybe this could change it. But a guy that definitely wants to go after the Intercontinental Championship should also move over to Raw, and that of course being the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner, Mojo Rawley. I think they're not going to do jack shit with Mojo Rawley if you keep him on SmackDown, especially with all the talent I brought in. So why don't they send him to Raw, be this underdog that people want to, like, sort of win and shit. And then, after teaming up with Lebowski or Labisco, whatever the fuck his name is, the football player. I'm sorry that I don't know his name, but I'm sorry. But after that moment, I'm pretty sure Raw's not going to really fuck up with him. He's not going to be a world champion, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to be some guy that you're just like, oh, who the fuck is this, Because even with Cesaro, at least they showed him on TV, But if you really want to get Mojo Rawley some huge heat or a huge story, bring in Zack Ryder over to Raw. I know it's a long shot, but I think it's right to bring Zack Ryder to Raw because he has been chasing that Intercontinental Championship ever since he lost that at the night after WrestleMania last year. And I think bringing Zack Ryder here is a great idea. Plus, he's had the true comeback story, which I'm really excited for. I don't know if it started yet, but I'm going to go check out some episodes if so. And Zack Ryder, I mean, you could bring him as a heel, you could bring him as a face, and you could do some stuff with him, to work. And then, like, maybe he'll be like, yes, it's time for me to finally get back the Intercontinental Championship. And maybe he doesn't have to be part of the Hype Bros. He could actually feud with Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. Maybe they start as a tag team and then break up at the end. Just because Zack Ryder wants to do bigger stuff. And Mojo Rawley is a guy that is probably going to end up being a bigger star than Zack Ryder, and that could piss him off. There's a lot of stuff you could do with Zack Ryder if WWE gives them actual fucking shit to do. And I think after speaking about tag teams, I decided to bring in the VOD villains. I think the VOD villains are shit in SmackDown. I kept the Ascension. I was going to debate between those two, but I'm pretty sure Raw, whoever's in the creative writing there, is going to shit on the Ascension. So bring the VOD villains who are more likable, and they could have funny backstage promos with Kurt Angle. Plus, since I'm keeping Enzo and Cass on Raw, they could bring back that story. And speaking of Enzo and Cass, I decided to bring Carmella to Raw. There's nothing to fucking do with Carmella on SmackDown now. She's technically a jobber ever since she lost to Cena and Nikki. I was thinking of bringing James Ellsworth with. It could work. Like, based on this is like depends on what they plan on do with James Ellsworth. Are they gonna release him? Is he going to Raw? Is he going to SmackDown? You know, they could keep him with Carmella and then maybe start a feud there with Enzo and Cass or whatever the hell, or have all three of them kind of team up or something like that, and then it gets to a point that James Ellsworth is just not fucking worth it, or they could do some story there. Just saying, just like a little feud there, because after this, there's nothing to do with Enzo and Cass. So, and Carmella is definitely a perfect person to bring over to Raw. I think she has the potential. Another person that I think should go over to Raw, that is Becky Lynch. Yes, I'm doing it. I'm bringing all of the four horsewomen to Raw, including, that also includes Nia Jax. So there's five like women there. There's five women there. Alicia Fox is still there. I don't know. That's pretty much all the talent you need for the women's division, because on SmackDown is definitely like a legit place to like find like good fucking women wrestling. You got Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Mickie James, Emma, and Summer Rae, who I'm bringing. So, you know, you just kind of even out. And I think Becky Lynch is ready to be part of the four horsewomen once again, and they could bring stories there. You know, they got some. I'm trying to like even it out where you have all the like top diva names or women wrestling names, my apologies, on Raw, and then have underdogs on SmackDown, which could elevate to be bigger stars, especially someone like Emma or Summer Rae. Somebody else I decided to bring to Raw, and just because I don't give a shit. Eva Marie, I don't give a shit about Eva Marie. She's basically what Emelina was supposed to be, and I think if they want to continue that character, fine, send it to Raw. I don't give a shit. Think that's it, because there's two more I want to talk about, but I want to save those to the end. But I guess not. Now this one's debatable on who I'm about to bring, but Nikki Bella, if she does not retire like she says she does, maybe bring her to Raw, because again, it's all about bringing big names to the women's division. So if she doesn't retire, obviously send her there. However, the last guy I would send to Raw, from SmackDown to Raw, is John Cena. I think this is kind of a risky idea, because John Cena at this point is a part-timer. Just accept it, embrace it. And John Cena could play the story of like Roman. You know, we could have the story of Roman Reigns and John Cena. Both whose yards is it? And then John Cena could play the story of, you know, I was supposed to retire The Undertaker, but you know what? I decided to step away because I don't want to be that guy. They could, if they do that story, I would be like there. Like, I'll be so damn excited if they play off Roman Reigns and Cena. Like, originally Cena was supposed to face Undertaker, but I guess he refuses. That would be a fucking beautifully done feud. And not just that, but based on the talent that I have on Raw, you could have some pretty solid as matches with Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. You know, you got some rematches. But that reminds me, I forgot about one Raw guy one SmackDown guy that I would bring over to Raw. That have been Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura definitely deserves to go to Raw, because he just looks like a guy that could elevate on Raw. This looks like a guy that they cannot fuck up on Raw. Same with Finn Balor. Finn and Nakamura and Joe, those are three guys you cannot fuck up on Raw. It's like impossible to fuck them up. So obviously send Nakamura, and I definitely see a feud between Nakamura and Cena down the road. Nakamura could also have great matches with anybody at this point. I mean, he proved it on NXT with Bobby Roode. Now, I definitely don't want to see Samoa Joe versus Nakamura again for like the 8th millionth time. But Nakamura could definitely do some good, cool shit. I was going to keep him on SmackDown, but I think we could hold off on Styles and Nakamura. Maybe when Nakamura is a bigger talent, like AJ Styles, and they fight at WrestleMania, then we'll like put them together in the same brand. Till then, that'll be it. And yeah, that will be it for like the draft that I'm planning. I don't know how they're gonna. Obviously, none of these will be like 100%, but these are just stuff I want to see after the draft. So I don't know. Comment down what you guys think. Let me know down below. It's me, the ALE XX Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.